Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Volvo Christian, and welcome to the world of Volvo. I'm here in the home of Volvo, Gothenburg, Sweden, to visit the world of Volvo. The new exhibition hall, event center, and also museum, and they also have a delicious restaurant just up the stairs here. So, world of Volvo. But why am I here? Well, just down in the reception area, they have some pretty cool cars on display. They have a police car, Volvo Amazon, also have a Volvo truck. But just around the corner, they have the Volvo ES90 on display. And it's almost 3 weeks since I first saw the ES90 out in Torslanda at the content studio. But that time slot was pretty darn cramped. It was 2 hours. It was primarily talking in front of the camera, moving the camera, grabbing pictures, and then the time slot was over. So I didn't get to explore the ES90 thoroughly. So that's why I'm here today, to explore the ES90. Sit in the car, interact with the car, and take a look at the exterior and interior elements over again more thoroughly. So that's what we're going to do in this video as well. We're going to talk more about the ES90, a little update on some elements, and then we will also talk about where is the EV90, will it come? And I'm going to end this video to talk about the upcoming EX60. So that's the topic for this video. Some ES90, some EV90, and some EX60. So I hope you will enjoy this video here from the world of Volvo. We're going to start with the ES90. So let's just jump down here. We're going to start here with the star of the show, the ES90, the main attraction. And just when I look at it for the second attempt, wow, I'm just super blown away of the ES90. I love almost every single aspect with the ES90. The front design, the new Thor's hammer with the lightning strike, the front grille, huge 22s, and the profile view. I have this on my screensaver on my laptop. I just love the profile view of the ES90. And now, luckily today, I have gotten much time with the ES90. So I've gotten to experience these delicious seats and also interact with the Bowser Wilkins and this touchscreen. And I have to say, I think these seats are probably the best seats I've ever experienced in a Volvo car. These seats alone and the Bowser Wilkins are probably enough for me to put my name on a contract. I just love the ES90, and the tech spec are incredible. Crushes everyone. Charging, range, performance, 680 horsepower in the twin performance. My God, I'm just super blown away of the ES90. I love almost every single aspect. The only thing I'm struggling slightly with, even today, are the rear 3/4. Kind of struggling with the way the seat pillow tapers down into the end design here, maybe also the light signature. Not the best angle, but I think it's going to grow on me. And maybe I have to see it in a different color. But this is probably also a consequence of, because you want to have good space for the rear passengers, good height for your head. So you probably have to have the roofline higher than you probably should have. Maybe it should taper down earlier, but that will compromise the interior headspace. Probably also a consequence of the big battery they have in the floor here. So you get I don't know, the side view are pretty perfect, but struggling slightly with this angle. But I think it's going to grow on me. But I have to say, I'm such a huge fan of the ES90. And you know, as I said, I'm struggling with the rear design. That wasn't a surprise for me, because when I saw the first, you know, the teaser picture, that bird view from the top, I thought instantly, this is controversial design for the rear end of the ES90. And I've seen a bunch of ES90 videos from other content creators. And there's a comment that goes again and again, that the rear aren't the best part. And that was expected from the first teaser picture. I saw that this was kind of controversial. But there's also another thing that people are writing in the comment section. One thing I wasn't expecting in that level, and that is regards to this roof-mounted LiDAR. I call it LiDAR, I call it safety, you call it a taxi hump. Yes, we should probably just write taxi here. But I'm actually, honestly, totally fine with this. Because we have seen LiDAR integration in a bunch of cars. Someone has like these pods and other solutions. Someone has it in the grille off to the center. What I like here, it is symmetrical. It is dead center in the car. Not off center, like some others would do. It is dead center. And I also love the placement. You want to have it here, in the line of sight, same as your eyes, for the best view possible. Maybe the Lotus Emeya does it slightly better because they have deployable lidars. They pop out from over the wheel arches, and they also have a deployable lidar on the roof. But I think it looks as good as it could be. Maybe eventually they can put it on the inside, but I think it's a good integration. It doesn't protrude too much, but the comment section are just going taxi, 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 taxi. But I wouldn't mind. Give me this taxi. I don't care about this. This is safety. This is Volvo for life. So design, seats, bowers, it's a huge thumbs up for me. I'm really considering to placing an order. There was one thing I forgot to talk about in the previous video of the ES90. We got to the performance sequence. And we can do a quick summary now, just as you have the numbers. We're going to start with the single motor rear wheel drive. That has a battery at 92 kilowatt hours with 88 kilowatt hours usable, peak charging 300 kilowatt, and a projected range at 650 kilometers. I can put the box in here. System power 333 horsepower and 480 Newton, 0 to 100 6.9 seconds. This is probably going to be the best seller if you don't need extra performance or all-wheel drive. So that is the base version. But then if we're bumping it up to the twin motors, we have a battery in the floor, 106 kilowatt hours, usable 102. And we have two different versions. We're going to start with the twin motor. That has a system power of 449 horsepower. It is a combination of 177 horsepower in the front, on the front electric motor, and 272 on the rear electric motor. So 449, 680 Newton meters combined, 0 to 100, 5.5 seconds, and this battery pack has a projected range at 700 kilometers and a peak charging at 350 kilowatts. It is the same range and peak for the twin performance, but we are bumping the power up from 449 up to 680 horsepower. And we're also bumping both of these two electric motors. So instead of 177, we have 299 horsepower in the front and 381 horsepower in the rear. Crazy performance figures. 0 to 100, 4 seconds. But the cool thing that I forgot to mention, both of these two twin motor setups are primarily rear wheel drive, unlike the EX90 that's primarily front wheel drive. So when you're driving, just casually driving on a dry country road or a highway, then you're primarily going to use the rear wheel drive. This is also going to be playful in the winter if you want it to. But there is a drive mode on the twin motor setup where you can permanently engage the all-wheel drive, so the front motor. Same as I have in my EC40. It is primarily rear wheel drive, but I have a drive mode to engage the front motor, giving me permanent all-wheel drive. And I hope, I'm crossing my fingers, I'm down on my knees, I'm hoping that Volvo could include a ESC off. Just imagine the twin motors with an ESC off, rear wheel drive biased. That could be playful in the winter or out on a frozen lake. So, drive mode, performance, rear wheel drive. So I thought that was a great thing I just had to include in my next ES90 video. Primarily rear wheel drive. And the performance figures, 0 to 100 in 4.0 seconds. For the twin performance, 680 horsepower. It crushes everyone. And I'm super stoked. Primarily I want the twin motor. But how can you resist the twin motor performance if the price gap aren't too high? And as I said, I'm seriously considering to order one of these myself. I have given it a lot of thought back and forward. I'm really considering going denim blue on the exterior, maybe crystal white, or the third option, mulberry red. And when we talk about mulberry red, I said in my content studio video that you could get mulberry red upholstery, both Nappa leather and this Nordico. Sadly, it has turned out that this mulberry red option are just available in the Asian and Chinese market. We won't get it in Europe. yet. But I hope that Volvo Cars will include it in the model year 27. Or else you have to just demand when you are in negotiation with your Volvo sales rep, if you want to place an order and you think that you want the mulberry red, just demand mulberry red. Because all the cars are going to be built in the same factory in Chengdu, China. So if I want the mulberry red upholstery in Norway, it shouldn't be a problem. The cars are coming from the same factory. So if I'm going for the mulberry, I will just demand it. Give me that mulberry or I won't order the ES90. Just imagine a mulberry red exterior and a mulberry red interior. They could be pretty wicked. Double mulberry. So, but there's a bunch of cool colors to pick from. But the mulberry, I'm super stoked. And we also have mulberry leather. And this is one of the things Volvo have done lately. They have gotten back, or they have listened to their customers when they adjusted the sales goal for 2030, saying that we will include plug-in hybrids. They listen to the customers. The customer want plug-in hybrids and electric. They want both. So they adjusted their sales goals. And now they're also going to include leather in the electric cars. EX90, ES90 will have a leather option. So they listen to the customers. And now they have to listen to customers claiming, demanding, we want mulberry red upholstery. Come on, Volvo, give us mulberry red. It would be wicked. And when we talk about interior, you know, the cardamom, because if I can't get mulberry, I'm probably going to go denim blue with the cardamom upholstery. Because cardamom upholstery are the only upholstery that still offers a black headlining. Here we have blonde headlining, but cardamom, black headlining. And you also get black headlining for the mulberry red. Those are the only two options that will give you a black headlining and a black, these plastic elements on the backrest and lower dash and lower doors. So we have to demand mulberry red. But I think we're going to talk about the EV90. Will we see an EV90 of this car? Will we see an EV90? Will we see a station wagon? In addition to the comments regarding the rear, the comments regarding the LiDAR, there was one comment that I instantly noticed in several videos, also my own video. When are the EV90 going to come? Will it come? And sadly, I have to disappoint each and every one. Will it come? No. That's the short answer. Because I read an article from Auto Express, I can link it down below. And there was a reporter or a journalist that asked Jim Rowan, the CEO of Volvo Cars, if he could see a future from Volvo without wagons, without estates. And he said, yes, because the times have changed, right? That was his reply. He could see a future without wagons. He said it's very, very expensive to make new models and also have them on the market. So from a cost point, it's not something Volvo prioritizes. And I can't say I'm surprised over this comment, because Volvo are predominantly a SUV brand. If you see on the 2024 sales statistic, then you will definitely see that Volvo won't produce a EV90. Let's take the S90. In 2024, it sold about 40,000 units. The smaller S60, that's sadly out of production, sold 44,000. The wagons, the V60, sold 34,000. And the V90 sold just 9,900 units. And just to put this in perspective, the XC60 sold 230,000 units. 230,000. So do you think Volvo are going to produce wagons? No, I think that part of Volvo are over. The wagon history, the wagon legacy, I think that is over. I'm really, really sad because I've owned 3 wagons, 3 V60s myself. I'm a huge fan of wagons, but I don't think it will come. Furthermore, Jim Rowan said that it's more cost efficient to build cars on the same platform within the same form function. So they will concentrate on like making black edition versions, making cross-country versions out of the like the EX30, same form function. But I think this reply just falls flat, because they could definitely create a EV90 on the same platform, the SPA2. Yes, it doesn't have the same form function. You need probably a different roof panel, a different molding here for the rear design. But how expensive can this be? They made the S90 and V90 on the same platform. How expensive are it really? But sadly, many people claims that they want a wagon, but a few percent actually goes ahead and buys the wagons. They buy a SUV instead. And that is what has killed the wagons, the SUVs. It is also why we have this ES90 that is a little touch of a SUV with this lifted ground clearance. The SUV has maybe killed the wagon, at least the V90. But I have hope, because Volvo have showed us 2 new cars on the SPA3 platform. So maybe they won't build it on the SPA2. Maybe they will build a wagon on the SPA3, but not the V90 or the EV90. Maybe we will see a EV60, because at least that had 34,000 sales. And it's here we have to use our customer force. We got to make Volvo change their 2030 ambition. We got them to introduce leather again, just from customer force. People were just giving them a lot of comments. We want leather, we want leather. A lot of backlash when Volvo removed leather. So now we have to do the same. In all of Volvo's Instagram posts, Facebook posts, and all of their communication, you have to write, we want the wagon, we want the wagon. We have to really push it out that we want the wagon. And maybe we can influence Volvo to create wagons, at least the V60 or the EV60. I know that China are Volvo's biggest market. So that's what we got, the ES90. And then we have US. They want SUVs. Okay. But UK and Germany, they are also on Volvo's top of the list in global sales. And they are more wagon-oriented than SUVs. So I hope that UK fans and German fans just really push it. We want the wagons. We want wagons. We want the EV60. Would be wicked if we can get the ES60 and the EV60 next year. But I think it's time for me to wrap up this video, and we will talk more about another car. Yeah, the car that has probably killed the wagons. So that was a little update regarding Volvo's ES90, and also a little chat regarding the EV90. And now we just have one more thing to talk about, and that is the EX60. Yes, you heard it correctly. EX60. Because if you were following the live stream from Volvo Cars when they launched the ES90 the 5th of March in Stockholm, then maybe you got a glance of something special that was not the ES90. Because Volvo gave us a little 30-second window here where we could see a first glance of the EX60. They opened up a door, and there you could see a car under a cover. It was a clay model of the upcoming EX60. And I'm actually super stoked for the EX60, because that is going to be the first car out on Volvo's SPA3 platform. You know, the ES90 and EX90 are built on the SPA2, but the EX60 will be built on the SPA3. So brand new platform. It's also going to be the first car, or first mass-produced electric car to roll out of the factory gates here in Torslanda, Sweden. I'm super excited for this EX60. And this SPA3 platform are actually quite flexible, so they can build cars smaller than the EX30 and bigger than the EX90. So there's a huge bandwidth in this platform. And the EX60 will also be the first car from Volvo to use this mega casting. So instead of producing many small elements of the framework and chassis, they can just create one big mold of form to cast a bigger part of the framework to save money and complexity.
The introduction of megacasting, a manufacturing process whereby a large number of parts is replaced with one single large aluminium casting, will benefit us in many areas and help us achieve our goal of being a climate-neutral company by 2040. Basically, the process goes like this. Molten aluminium is forced into a high-pressure mold. It solidifies as it cools and is then dipped in water to speed up the cooling process. After some laser cutting and quality checks, The parts produced using this process will eventually become part of the floor structure in our new electric range. This process significantly reduces the number of parts produced and allows for greater design and production flexibility. Megacasting also helps our sustainability ambitions, as it reduces our environmental footprint across production, gives greater potential for recycled content, and reduces the weight of our cars, which in turn reduces energy consumption and improves energy efficiency.
So I'm really stoked for the EX60, and as I said, first car out on the SPA3 platform. Volvo have also showed us 2 other cars, or at least said that we will have 2 more cars. Obviously we will get a bunch of more cars, but they have presented 2 more cars on the SPA3 platform in the investor report. And what are those cars going to be? I think one of those cars will be a new 40 range car, and maybe, just maybe, the last one will be the ES60, so like a smaller ES90. But we will probably see a bunch of cars on this SPA3 platform, because this is a platform that takes Volvo further into the future. So brand new platform, and the EX60 raises another question for me, because this is going to be built in Torslanda, here in Sweden. And it raises a question: should I order a ES90 or should I wait for the EX60? Because the ES90 are built in China, so you have 3 months delivery time, transportation. So if I'm going to wait like 2 months to order an ES90 to get the model 27, then maybe the ES90 won't arrive in Norway until summer 2026. And if Volvo starts to produce the EX60 like the second quarter of 2026, then I will probably have it on the same time, or at least very, very close. So should I buy a ES90 or wait for the EX60? SPA2, SPA3, ES90 or EX60? That is the dilemma I'm kind of struggling with. I love wagons, I love sedans, but I'm also a sucker for the EX60 or the XC60, Volvo's biggest seller, the top of the line in global sales. So the EX60 are going to be really, really important for them. So I think they're going to crush it out of the park with that car. But what car would you go for? ES90 or EX60? And with that, I think I'm going to end this video here. It's time to get home. So thank you for watching, and I really hope you have enjoyed this video here from the world of Volvo. So until next time, take care and bye-bye.